Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for those of you who are new here, my name's Amy. I'm a full-time reseller, primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do also dabble in other online platforms and I sell locally. Today I'll be doing another ship with me video. I really enjoy doing these videos. In these videos, I go day to day and I share the different items that ship out. I talk about how much I paid for it, what it sold for, and what my profit was. I also sometimes give tips on keywords and whether I'd pick it up again or not. Just some different things that you can learn from and items that you can look for when you're out thrifting to make money on. Okay, so let's get started. The first item is this very dainty little gold necklace. Now this is stamped 14 karat gold, and I had this listed for $169, and I think it's $169. Yeah, I sent out 10% off offers to likers with discounted shipping. So I sent out an offer for $152 and the buyer accepted. I had paid just $3 for this at an estate sale. I don't think that they knew the value of this, and I was honestly really tempted to keep this because it's so dainty, and it was only 15 inches long, which is kind of a harder length to find sometimes. But I decided I'd rather have the money than keep it. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $115.92. If you watch my videos, you know me. I love big profit items. I wish they were all like that. But as you'll see, they are not all like that. All right, so we'll set this to the side. And the next item that sold is this pair of kind of Western style low top boots. And I use keywords like Western, rockabilly, studded, vintage, distressed, saddle shoes, I think. Yeah, as many things as I could think of, because I felt like these really hit a lot of different categories. So this brand, let's see if you can see that. I hadn't ever heard of this. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I even spelled it right in the listing, because I looked it up online and people had it listed spelled a number of different ways. But I must have done something right, because I listed these for $59 and I got an offer for $50. So I happily accepted that. It did look like these possibly had a high retail value. I picked them up for under $2 at the Goodwill bins. So needless to say, I was very happy with that offer, because this seemed to be kind of an obscure brand, so I wasn't sure how well it would do. But I think it helped that I used all of those keywords to help people find the style that they would be interested in. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $38. That makes me very happy. I think that's a nice little flip. Okay, the next item that sold is a vintage tooled leather belt with this rodeo bull riding buckle. And as you can see, it has really detailed tooling on it. I picked this up for $3 at the Goodwill. If you haven't watched my videos before, you'll see as you continue to watch that I am obsessed with belts. I buy and sell them weekly. I typically sell multiple every week. And I usually list my belts for $39, which is what I listed this one for. And it was a full price sale. I'm always happy when I have full price sales, and especially with belts, because I kind of look at them as a turn and burn type item. So sometimes I will take lower prices on them, but I am more than happy to sell this for full price. So like I said, I paid $3 for this at a thrift store. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $25.52. I think that's great. I'm not going to complain at all. And the next couple items are kind of interesting. This is just a belt buckle on its own, and it has this really cool bear head. It's solid brass and it has really good weight to it. This did take a little while to sell, probably a couple of months even, I would say. But I did have it priced pretty high. I had it priced at $59, and I sent out 10% off offers to likers with discounted shipping. So I sent out a $53 offer, and the buyer accepted. Did I already say I had paid $3 for this at an estate sale? So that made my profit after Posh fees and my cost of goods $36.72. I think that's really great. I'm not going to complain at all. You'll notice that when I talk about my cost of goods, I often have things that cost $3. We have an estate sale company that prices their items at $1, $3, $5, $7, $9, and often these little items are in the $1 or $3 range. So of course I always pick them up. Okay, did I already say my profit was $36.72? I forgot already. Okay, so the next item is another belt buckle. And this is also a pretty cool one. It's copper and it has this Thunderbird emblem on it, and this is by Bell Silver Company. Is that what it is? Oh, it just said solid copper, but it has the Bell logo on there. And this can be somewhat of a collectible brand, but that doesn't mean that it necessarily goes for super high prices. But the pieces are nice quality, and they have good style to them. So I typically pick them up. This sold for $28. Let's see. I had this listed for $40 actually, and the buyer sent me an offer. The $28 was a little bit less than I had anticipated getting, but I had it listed for quite some time, so I decided that it was just time to accept, you know, what someone was willing to pay for it and move it out. So I had paid $2 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $20.40. So if you've watched my videos before, you'll also see that I sell full belts with the buckle. Sometimes I'll sell just the leather portion of the belt without the buckle, and sometimes I'll sell just the buckle without the belt. And I do that if I think that I can get more selling them separately, or if I want to put a different buckle on a certain belt or whatnot. But you know, it's up to you how you want to do it. I just like to try different things to see if I can maximize my profits. Okay, and the next item that sold is this semi-vintage Harley Davidson turtleneck sweater. I think this is probably from the 90s or the 2000s. Looks like I missed a couple pieces of lint on this. And this sold for a little bit less than I anticipated, but some of my Harley stuff had been kind of sitting around. So when I got this offer for $20, I decided to go ahead and accept it. I had just listed this a couple of weeks ago, but I only paid $2 for it. So I thought I'll just go ahead and take that and move it out quickly instead of letting it sit around for a while. How do you guys do with Harley Davidson stuff? Let me know in the comments below. I find that if I have something that's leather, I tend to get a good price for it. But the kind of fashion pieces like this, I don't typically get very high prices for them. But for what I paid for it, I'm not going to complain too much. After Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $12.28. As I said before, I like to try and only buy things that I'm going to make at least a $20 profit on, just because I think that, you know, pays for the time that it takes me to source, photograph, list, ship. There's a lot that goes into each item. But you know, that's not to say that I don't ever accidentally buy items that I make a little bit lower profit on, and every little bit counts. So I just am thankful for every sale that I have. Okay, well, that's all for today, but I will be back in a couple of days to share what else I sell. See you then. Hi again, it's a couple days later, and it has been a really great couple of days. I'm pretty excited. I've had quite a few sales and a high dollar sale, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let's get started. So of course, I'm going to start with the high dollar sale, and it is this vintage fetish necklace. It's a Native American piece, and it has little carved animals on there, and they call these fetishes. I'm not sure of the full history of this, but I did quite a bit of research when I picked it up, because these are faked a lot, you could say. So they became pretty popular in the 60s and 70s. And so they started to be made in like China and Thailand and imported over here for reasonable prices. And so you will come across a lot of fakes of these. So I had this listed for a year and a half to 2 years, so a long time. But I had it priced as high as $425. And this buyer came along and she asked me what my rock bottom price was. Because I had had it so long, I was ready to move it, and I told her that I would accept $275. She asked a few more questions about where I got it and why I thought it was authentic and not, you know, an import. And I told her the couple of things that I had researched, which was the little fetishes. When they're imported, the beads will be like flat and like they were cut out of a sheet of stone or whatnot. And the originals will have more of a 3D kind of rounded nature to them. I also posted it in a couple of different Native American groups on Facebook to ask their opinions, and they believed that it was authentic Native American. So this did sell for $275, which I'm super excited about. I would not recommend that you pay up for something like this unless you really know what you're doing. I only paid $6 for this at an estate sale. So you know, I did the research so that I could get a higher dollar amount, and because I don't like to list things as Native American unless I feel very confident that they are Native American made, because I do not want to be disrespectful at all and attribute something as Native American made that is not. So that's a lot of info, but I figured some of you would be curious because it sold for a higher dollar amount. And like I said before, it just takes time to learn about different types of jewelry. And I am by no means an expert on Native American pieces. I just do research each time I pick up an item, and I learn more and more each time. And that's really the best way to do it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $214. I'm very excited about that. And, you know, it's possible that I could have gotten more for this, but because I had it listed for so long, I was ready to move it. Okay, the next item is kind of a quirky, curious thing, and it is this vintage denim chambray suit. And I picked this up a couple of weeks ago at a thrift store. And the main reason I bought it was because it was only $2.50. It had kind of fun vintage vibes. I hadn't seen a denim suit before. And there was a couple other suits there, a Levi's 3-piece suit that I wanted to pick up. And I have this kind of odd OCD, I don't know if that's the right word for it, where I don't like to list just one of a type of item. So I didn't want to just list one suit, so I decided to pick this one up too because it was affordable. So I listed it for $59, and it sold in less than 24 hours. This was an offer to like her. She liked it, and I sent her a 10% offer for $53 with discounted shipping, her or him. And they accepted. So I was kind of not sure if this was a very good pickup or if it would just sit around. Also because the sizing was a little odd. The jacket was a 42 tall, and the pants were size 36, but the inseam had been hemmed down to 29. So a tall coat and a short pants, I wasn't sure how that would do. But she said that she is wearing it for, well, she asked me if I could ship it quickly because she wants to get it in time for Thanksgiving to wear for a costume party. So I don't know what the costume party is, but sounds fun, and I'm glad that it was going on so that this would sell so quickly. So like I said, it sold for $53 with discounted shipping. I paid $2.50, so that made my profit $40 even. I am thrilled with that. I really didn't know what to expect to sell this for, and I just kind of shot from the hip on pricing. I think I looked at eBay a little bit for comps, and I did use a lot of keywords. So one thing with vintage, which I'm not sure if I've mentioned before, but if you can, you want to try and put the era of the item in your title and description. So I thought that this was from the 1970s based on the styling. So I put vintage 70s denim chambray suit, and I put Western, I put leisure, I think I might have put business casual, retro. I just put as many applicable keywords in there as I thought applied to get the most eyes on this, really. And apparently it worked. Okay. So the next item is a somewhat vintage Burberry bag. Now this is a consignment piece, and as I've said before, I don't always do consignment, but this was a customer who had bought quite a bit of stuff from me, and she had 3 Burberry bags that she wanted to consign. Now this one did not sell for a high price because, can you see that? It has that mark on there. I kind of am thinking that this was something that from when they made the bag, they wrote on the inside. I'm not sure how that got there, and she wasn't really either. So I started out actually by listing this at $59 because in addition to that mark, the white leather was worn and scuffed and there was marks. And I thought I kind of wanted to move it quickly. But listed at that 59, I think 59 is what I said, I was getting really low ball offers, like $20, $25. And even though this is flawed, it is a leather authentic Burberry item. And so I just thought it was worth more than $20 some. So I increased the price to $89. And it did take, boy, I'm struggling here. Sorry about that. It did take a few months to sell, but a buyer liked it, and I sent out a 10% off offer with discounted shipping for $80, and they accepted. So sometimes it pays to increase the price on something if there is a value, you know, to it. And if you're getting silly lowball offers, sometimes you just have to establish a value of it by pricing it higher. So I am doing a 50-50 split with the customer after Poshmark fees. So that made my cost of goods $30.60 and my profit $30.60. Now, you know, the consignor getting $30 for an authentic Burberry bag is not that great, but I actually told her I didn't want to accept this on consignment because I didn't think it would sell for very much. And she said, I'm not going to use it. It's fine. Sell it. Try and get at least $50 for it. You know, sell it for $50. So she understands, you know, that she's just not going to get that much for it. So she's actually going to get a little bit more maybe than she expected. So I am happy to move that out. Okay, the next item is kind of fun. This is a spider down ski coat or winter coat. And I just loved the hot pink vibrant color of this. The fact that it was down, and it kind of has a retro look to it, in my opinion. Plus it was in really nice condition. I don't know if you can tell, but the sleeves are kind of still like creased at the top there, meaning, you know, showing that someone really hadn't worn it that much. So I listed this, I think I listed this originally at $89, and I picked this up at the end of the year last year. So I listed it kind of a little bit past, you know, the peak of coat buying. So I think maybe that's why it didn't sell. Plus, it looked like Spider brand had kind of hit or miss on comps. So some pieces sold for pretty high prices, and some pieces didn't. So like I said, I started it, I think it's $79 or $89, and I had reduced it, and the buyer offered me $65. I thought that was fair. I had paid up for this a little bit. I paid $8 for it at the Goodwill just because I thought it was so cute. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $44. Even though it did take a while to sell, I think it's because of what my timing was in purchasing it. I'm still overall happy with that profit. And, you know, one of the things that I'm learning from making these videos is seeing how important timing for seasons can be to sell items. So that doesn't mean that I'm still not going to pick up coats in the end of December. If I can find a really nice coat for a good price at that time, I'm still probably going to buy it. I'm a firm believer in buying things when they're available, and with kind of the uncertainty, you know, potential recession that we may be facing, who knows, we don't have a crystal ball, but you know, I want to make sure that I have plenty of inventory on hand if something were to happen. I don't know, that's just my view. Some people may think it's not a good idea to have money tied up in inventory like that, but that's just how I do it. So, okay, the next item is this vintage leather Bill Blass leather coat. Like I said, I believe this is from the 1980s or the 1990s, and it's actually new with tags. I had hoped to get more for this, and I'd had it listed maybe a couple of months. I listed it for $89, and a buyer started off by offering me like $40, and then he came up to $53. And really, I hadn't had much interest in this, not many likes or anything. So I decided to go ahead and accept his $53 offer. I had paid $5 for this at a thrift store. So that still left, you know, some room. Let's see, what should I do with that tag? That still left, you know, plenty of room for profit on that, even accepting the $53. And because I hadn't had much interest in it, I just decided to go ahead and sell it to this person because that's what they were willing to pay for it at that time. And like I've said before, sometimes I just get in the mood to move stuff out so that I can list new items. And sometimes I will just really hold out for high prices. I guess it just depends on what's going on in my life. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So this sold for $53. I paid $5 for it. So that made my profit $37.40. Again, not quite as much as I originally anticipated getting, but it's still an honest profit, and this will be moved out and somebody gets a really nice high quality leather coat. Okay, what else? I was going to say something else, but I can't think of what it was. Hopefully it will come to me. Okay, so the next item was not the greatest buy, but it is this Athleta jacket, and it's got this purple fleece lining. It's kind of like a raincoat, but it's an old tag, as you can see. And I didn't know much about Athleta when I picked this up, but I thought it was really cute style, and I liked the contrast lining. So I paid $5 for it at a yard sale, which maybe I shouldn't have paid up for this because it did take a good 4 or 5 months, I think, to sell, and it didn't sell for very much. I think I started this out at $39, and this buyer offered me, I can't remember if I sent out offers or if they sent me an offer, but it sold for $22. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $12.60. Like I've said before, I like to try and get $20 profit per item, but doesn't always work out that way. And sometimes you just have to accept the profit that you can get. So I hope this buyer likes this jacket. I think it's a pretty good deal. Okay, let's see. Got kind of a pile going here on the side of me. Okay, so the next item is this Levi's Trucker Sherpa jacket. Isn't that cute? I wish that this was my size because I would have kept it. I just think it's really cute, but it's too small. So I also picked this up at the end of the year last year. My Goodwill put out a whole bunch of really, or what I thought were really great coats at the end of the year, so I just picked quite a few up. I paid $10 for this, which might have been a little bit too much. And I had it listed as high as $69. and the buyer ended up offering me $45. Because I've had it for a while, I decided to go ahead and accept that. And I don't think that's really an unreasonable price for a pre-owned Levi's jacket. So that made my profit $26. Now this buyer is asking me to wait. So today is Wednesday, and they're asking me to wait not till this Friday, but the next Friday to ship this because they're going to be out of town. I told them that I would wait that long, but now I'm kind of having second thoughts, and I might reach out to Poshmark and ask them what they think. I just don't want to get like a ding on my record, or I don't want them to cancel it because that'll be like 12 days since she place the order until I ship it. Have you guys ever had someone ask you to wait that long to ship something out? Comment down below and let me know what happened or what you think if you would wait. I will try and remember to update you when I hear back from Poshmark on what I should do, because someone else is bound to run into this type of thing. So that is it for today, but I will be back in a couple of days to share what else I sold. I'll see you then. Hi there, it's another day and I've got some more goodies to ship out. It's another really cold day, so I have my heater going. I apologize if you can hear it or if it muffles my voice at all, but it was just too cold not to have it turned on. So, okay, the first item that sold is a pretty exciting sale. I always start with the exciting ones, of course. So it is a vintage Pendleton wool cape. Now it's a full length cape, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see all of that very good, but it's buttoned down the front and it has a collar, and there is the label. Boy, the light's a little off. Sorry if that's washing it out. I picked this up at a thrift store just because I thought, well, number one, because it's Pendleton and the length was so unique. It's, I mean, so long. You don't see big full capes like this very often. So I paid up a little bit for it. I paid $20, but I listed it, I had it listed as high as $259, but I'd had it listed for quite some time and I'd sent out a lot of offers to likers, and this buyer offered me $120. So that was less than I wanted to get, but because I'd had it listed, I think maybe 6 or 8 months, maybe close to a year, I decided to just go ahead and take that. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, which was $20, my net profit was $76. Overall, I am happy with that, even though it's not quite as much as I'd hoped. I'm going to go ahead and package this up off camera just because it's kind of difficult to maneuver it in front of the camera. Okay, so we'll set that to the side. The next item, not so exciting, but like I always say, every little bit counts. This is a little vintage brooch, and this sold for $19. It was a full price sale. I don't always pick up brooches, but sometimes I'll buy a whole estate full of jewelry. So I've been doing this for so long that people in the area will know that I buy and sell jewelry. And so sometimes I'll get a call saying, oh, I know someone whose aunt passed away and they've picked out all the jewelry they want, and they want to know if you're interested in purchasing it. And so I will purchase it as a whole lot. I find that I can get a better price that way, and then these little lower dollar items I still list because there are people who still buy brooches. They're not a super fast seller, but if you've been watching my videos, you will see that I do sell them. So I listed this for $19, and like I said, it was a full price sale. I paid $2 for it, so that made my profit $13.20. Not super exciting, but every little bit counts. So again, for those of you who haven't watched my videos before, I'm using this little box. It's from the dollar store, and they come in sets of 10, and they're in the food storage area. So that only makes them about 12 or 13 cents a piece. And I get a lot of great feedback on these cute little boxes. So I think they're affordable. People say they can reuse them, which always makes me happy with packaging, so there's less waste. Okay, so the next item is a little bit of a surprise for me. It is this vintage polyester shirt jacket. Now, last week or the week before, I sold another piece that I got from this yard sale leftover free pile. So I got this for free. Somebody in my neighborhood was having a sale, and I didn't have time to go to it when it was open, but then I drove by and they had a free pile. So I went and dug through it, and there was a couple of decent vintage items. So I picked this up. So I will note that it does have a little seam separation at the pockets, and I did note that in the listing. This is called double knit polyester, and there is a little tag on the inside indicating that, and this is by Jack Winter. Can you see that? I don't think that name brand is necessarily anything important, but I have found that I do okay with this double knit polyester, which is kind of surprising. So I listed this for $39, and it sold for full price. I thought that was pretty surprising. A while back, I had a full suit of this double knit polyester, and I think I sold that for $100 or $120 for the set. So I would keep your eyes out for these pieces that are marked double knit polyester, because apparently people like them. I didn't realize it was a thing. But I am glad that I did, because I've already sold 2 pieces and made decent profits. So like I said, it sold for $39. I didn't pay anything for it, so that made my profit $31.20. I'm thrilled with that. A freebie item that you wouldn't expect to sell for that price, I'll take it. Okay, the next item I'm kind of on the fence about. This is a lightweight blazer. It is beautiful quality wool, and it is by Celine, but it is this Venetian Maine, I don't know if I'm saying that right, label, which I'm not sure if this is the original Celine or if it is like a diffusion line. I wasn't able to find much information about it, and I'd had it listed for about a year. This was a consignment piece, which, like I've said before, I don't normally do consignment, but this was another dealer that I was helping out. She had some other great items, and I originally started listing this, I think like as high as $129 maybe, and I had reduced it and sent out offers, and then the consignor said she was ready to move the rest of the items, and she didn't want to hold out for top dollar. So when this buyer offered me $49, I decided to go ahead and accept it. I was doing a 50-50 split with the consignor after Poshmark fees. So that made my cost of goods $19.60 and my profit $19.60. So you know, if you do decide to do consignment, that's totally up to you. I would highly encourage you to develop some sort of contract, just so you're covered, especially if you're doing it with friends. It's really good for them to know what to expect and for you to just have some sort of guidelines on what to expect with consignment. There are some, you know, ideas that you can find for contracts online. I don't know if it's necessary to have a lawyer do it. I didn't. Anyways, that's just my 2 bits. I would suggest that you have some sort of agreement or contract. Okay, so the next item is this Vince wool cashmere blend sweater. And as you can see, the size tag was cut out of this. So I didn't know what size it was. I did indicate that in the listing, and I provided measurements, and I also listed it in 2 different sizes, I think, and just said I only have the 1 sweater available, listing in multiple sizes. For exposure, please refer to measurements for best fit. I've done this quite a few times, or a lot actually, and I've yet to have an issue. That doesn't mean it won't happen in the future where somebody doesn't read the description very well. But that's the way I do it, so that more people can see it than if I just had it in 1 size. And of course, I will only list it in appropriate sizes. Okay, so I have this listed for $49, I think, and it had been listed a little while. So the buyer offered me $30. I accepted. I had paid $5 for it. I paid up a little bit because it was Vince, and this is before I realized that Vince it has a high retail, but it doesn't always have a high resale value. I haven't had very good luck with it. So I wouldn't pay up for Vince again unless it was a substantial piece, like a coat or a dress or a heavy sweater. Anyway, so that made my profit $19. Not terrible, not wonderful, but I am happy to move it out and move on to the next item. Okay, well, that is all for this week. I so appreciate you guys continuing to watch my channel. If you are enjoying it, I would love it if you would subscribe, join our little thrift obsessed family. We have lots of fun chatting in the comments and learning from each other. I think that's the most important thing about this channel, is that we can share our knowledge and help each other make more money, because that's what we're trying to do with this, right? Also, it really helps me out if you give my videos a thumbs up and make a comment down below. Those tell YouTube that people are enjoying my videos, and so then in turn YouTube will suggest my videos to more people, and that helps my channel grow and it encourages me. All right, so thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week.